One of the bigger things added to the final project is the addition of the fairy characters. There are several different ones, each of which has their own different abilities that they grant you. This one is the Dark Blue Fairy, which gives you increased mana regeneration. The Red Fairy gives your attacks double damage. This is the Ice Stalk, which is the first boss I have planned for the game. It remains stationary and shoots at you from a distance when you enter its arena. As you could see before, it also shoots upwards before you enter the arena, although I'm not entirely sure why that is, so I'm gonna have to figure that out and fix it. It has two stages, the first one where it just shoots normally, and then the second one when it gets to half health it begins shooting much faster. Shooting the stalk deals half damage, while shooting the eye does regular damage. Picking up the Grey Fairy halts your mana regeneration for 1 minute, as opposed to the other fairies whose effects last for 2 minutes. This Yellow Fairy will double your movement speed for 2 minutes. This Light Blue Fairy will half your movement speed for 2 minutes, essentially cancelling out the effect of the Yellow Fairy if you have it. One thing this new build features is an improved and changed animation system, making the animations more fluid. One problem is that the falling animation when you walk off of an edge doesn't seem to play properly, so I'll have to figure out how to fix that. It also still bugs out when you jump and run into a platform, but continue to fall. As you can see, the effect of the Grey Fairy has worn off now, so my mana is regenerating as normal. The win condition is still the same as before: kill all the goblins, and the Goblin Bastard's remaining counter will decrease. And once it reaches 0, you win the game. I still need to make it so that it counts the Ice Stalk boss as one of the enemies, which I haven't done just yet. Picking up this Blue Fairy will halve the damage you take. Another addition to this build of the game is the addition of the par time versus your time that appears at the end of the level. This was inspired by the original Doom levels, which featured the same sort of thing. The par time for each level is the fastest that I, as the developer, was able to complete the level. One issue that I'm aware of is collision in the Ice Stalk. It must have collision to keep the player from walking past it, since it's supposed to be an obstacle. But if the player jumps on it, they'll be pushed from their position in the 2D plane. Unlike in Unity Engine, locking the player to the plane doesn't seem to prevent movement out of the plane, since this character is locked to their plane. So I need to find a way to manually fix this. You probably noticed the green fairy behind the Ice Stalk. This is a really useful fairy, since it's the healing fairy. It gives you the healing buff, which heals you for 1 health every 5 seconds. The issue with it is that it's behind the Ice Stalk, but not completely behind it. If you shoot too high over the Ice Stalk, then you'll end up hitting the fairy. Hitting any fairy will immediately kill it, so you have to be careful with your shots with the Ice Stalk. In this clip you can see the real advantage of using the combination of the time stomp ability plus the double damage fairy, as you're able to immediately destroy the Ice Stalk before it can even reach its second stage. Once that's done, you can see the effect of the healing fairy. Here's a showcase of the barrier, which is inspired by the Danmaku barrier from the Toho fan game Azure Reflections. Similar to in that game, when you activate the barrier, here by pressing S, it projects a barrier around the player. Any projectiles entering this barrier will be immediately destroyed. There's no sprite for the barrier yet, which will be fixed in time. This is especially helpful for the Goblin Shaman here, since the fireballs will inflict burning to your player, which will always kill you at the moment because they do 10 damage and you only have 10 health. However, by activating the barrier, which lasts for 0.2 seconds and uses an amount of your mana, you're able to completely negate this effect. Regarding the Goblin Shaman, it is entirely possible, however fairly difficult, to get him to actually kill himself with his own fireball. You have to do this by controlling your time stop and resume and movement correctly. If you stand close to them and freeze time the moment that they shoot out their fireball, and then run away and then resume time, it will detonate right in front of them, dealing a lot of damage. If you get it to be right on them, it will kill them. However, usually it'll be a little bit off. So in that case, it'll take 2 fireballs to kill them. A final issue is the simplicity of the melee goblins AI. Right now they just walk towards you when they see you. I'm wanting to fix this by making them check to see if they're going to walk off their platform, and if they do, then they'll stop moving.